going on, everybody? We're back with more of me watching the entire world. And apparently, messed with TTS. So apparently there was a Borderlands 4 state of play a couple of days ago that I missed because I've been working. And I remember watching a trailer or something, or a reveal of something at some show recently, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the vibe of it. I didn't like the much of anything outside of the updated graphics. So I'm hoping that this will show me something I will like because I'm a huge fan of Borderlands. Borderlands 2 is Tendy! What's up, bro? How you doing, man? For once you're awake, yeah, right? Me too. I fucking had a nap earlier. But it's been a while since I streamed. Ever since that fucking game one fucked up, I didn't want to. I just had like no energy to do so, because I really wanted to play games, but I can't fucking stream games with this hotel Wi-Fi, and it's annoying. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Borderlands. Borderlands 2 in particular was my first Borderlands, and I played the absolute shit out of that when I was Yeah, man, go ahead, no problem. Played the shit out of it when I was living with one of my girlfriends. We both played that game so much. And I love Borderlands. And even, like, the thing is, Borderlands has always been kind of cringe. Like, there has been a lot of fucking cringe that Borderlands had over, like, the dialogue and situations and certain characters and shit. It's, like, a very over-the-top thing, which is fine. But, like, in this day and age, it's like they go real bad real fast. Like, even then niggas got annoying. Like, for real. Like, Borderlands 3 was just a disappointment, but could definitely see it sprouting up from there, and I don't see it getting any better in this game. Like, if it was too much, or like if they lost their creative juices at 3, this is gonna be a cringe fest, and I'm gonna fucking blow my brains out. But let's just hope that it'll give me something to look forward to. Let's jump ahead of it. All right.
What use is a vault hunter? What use is a killer? A brute. A rule-breaking, loot-taking, running and gunning natural disaster. You are, in a word.
Yo, Tinder, does the video looking good? Like, is the stream looking smooth and shit? Everything sounding alright?
Mayhem. I take that personally.
Thanks. Fantastic, thank you. That's all I wanted. That's what I'm saying. That's why I can't play games. I can only react to videos and shit. I can't really play games. See, you already fucked it up. You already fucked it up. I guess.
That personally.
It was looking decent. Actually, it was kind of slow, but that shit. Why the fuck you gonna put cute up in a game like this? It's not a game for cute shit. Borderlands is not a cute game. It's a very bloody, mature, very fucking brotanimo game. It's not a cute game. There's cute things in there, but it's not like it's not this. It's not doing this shit. Like Tiny Tina's cute by herself. This is try hard cute and it's cringe as fuck.
citywide curfew has been enacted. Violators will be shot on sight. Be advised, a citywide curfew has been enacted. Violators
It's not a bad alien design.
will be shot on
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
sight.
That's pretty cool though. As a concept, I'd do like disguises like that, like aliens having an ability to do that is pretty cool. You know what? Before we watch the rest of it, because there are people, there's other stuff to watch in this, but I need to see the Borderlands 2 trailer. I have to watch it now. It's gonna bug me. Oh no, wait, let's do a launch trailer. Back it up. Launch trailer. 12 years ago. That was 12 years ago? Jesus Christ.
I can't just have some psychopathic murderers getting to the vault before I do. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's cute that y'all think you're the heroes of this little adventure, but you're not.
Yeah, man, take your time. Sorry, I didn't see that earlier.
Welcome to Pandora, kiddos.
That's my boy Zero. I use him only use Zero. Only ever use Zero.
How the hell are you still alive, Vault Hunter? Ow!
The vault Jack's looking for isn't an alien prison. It's a living thing. An ancient Iridian warrior, powerful enough to destroy all life on Pandora.
This will hurt.
Oh, that was cool.
This is what I don't get about you bad guys. You know the hero's gonna win, but you just don't die.
Handsome Jack is gonna kill us all unless you can stop him.
There was nothing cute about that fucking trailer. I was thinking that up until I saw. Hold on. This motherfucker. Cute ass fucking psycho. That's hilarious. Like the limitations in technology and aside, I don't know. It just feels that one has a tone I like more. I don't just personally. I don't know.
Heyo, I'm Randy Pitchford.
Oh
founder
my
of
god!
Gearbox.
Why would you do that? That was. I'm so good at pausing, but that was an awful intro to yourself.
Heyo, I'm
Oh.
Randy Pitchford, founder of Gearbox Entertainment. Today, we're giving you our deepest look yet at Borderlands 4. All the excitement, loot, and gnarly carnage all running on PlayStation 5 Pro.
Fantastic.
Since creating the looter-shooter genre nearly 16 years ago, we've continued to refine the formula, delivering better loot, greater freedom, and endless mayhem. And with Borderlands 4, we've pushed things even further.
This is hands down our best Borderlands ever. All new movement, abilities, bigger and badder enemies, and a brand new planet, all in service of making you feel like a total badass.
It's the perfect entry point for new players, with incredible new places and a great story. And for our longtime Borderlands fans, we're throwing back to our more grounded tone, while pushing gameplay ahead further than ever before.
Yeah, what about that dialogue,
the culmination
though?
Of
Because, like, after suffering through Borderlands 3, your gameplay is not gonna carry me. I need that story and the dialogue to be fire as well.
years of hard work from my teammates across the Gearbox studios. So enough talk, let's get it. This is Borderlands 4.
Oh, cringe machine. It looks amazing.
Borderlands is an unforgiving
That's what's sad
sci-fi
about it.
universe where life is cheap and guns are plentiful. You play as a Vault Hunter, a badass mercenary with powerful abilities called action skills.
Today I'm playing as Vex, our new siren. She wields supernatural phase energy to devastating effect. She can use that energy to empower herself, or channel it to conjure deadly minions that fight alongside her.
That's not a bad
And because
siren power.
everything's
Off base, that's not a bad siren power. I was thinking, like I said, I played 0 in 2, so I didn't touch Maya. But I played as the siren in 3, and that's a very good siren. She has very good siren powers.
better in co-op, I'm joining as Rafa, a former TDR soldier who wears an experimental exosuit. He can digistruct an arsenal of weapons, like the razor-sharp arc knives.
These are two of our 4 new Vault Hunters that you can play at launch.
Borderlands 4 takes place on Kairos, an all-new planet steeped in conflict. For thousands of years, the Timekeeper kept the planet hidden, controlling its inhabitants with
You know, it is good that they're doing a whole new planet, because Pandora has been fucking milked dry. And Helios. But that's actually a good sign because, I mean, I hope that they're not going to reference the older games. If it's just like a clean slate, just a 4, just to add the 4 to it, great. If it's a completely different story with completely different situations and nothing's related to anything else, besides like, you know, the general themes of vault hunting and like, oh, maybe there's maybe a reference to the fucking black guy from the first one. I can't remember his name. Roland. Oh, thank God. Because that shit was sad when fucking Tiny Tina hugged that statue. Anyway, they make a reference to Roland and then like kind of move on. Like they don't have to do the Saints Row thing. Just completely do a whole new thing.
with bolts, cybernetic implants fused to their spines. Anyone who stepped out of line was brutally crushed by his army of synthetic soldiers known as the Order.
That is until 6 years ago when Elpis showed up. This rogue moon was teleported away from Pandora at the end of Borderlands 3 by the legendary Vault Hunter Lilith.
Oh, well,
When
there
it
we go.
reappeared across the galaxy, it crashed into the protective veil around Kairos. The results were devastating. A planet-wide cataclysmic event that disrupted the Timekeeper's perfect order.
Now people all across Kairos have started rising up, some even ripping out their bolts, and chunks of their brain along with it.
Hear it talk!
That's the situation our Vault Hunters have crash-landed into. A planet ready to explode, and you're the spark. As you explore, you'll meet a spark.
It may just be me, but she's not attractive to me. And it kind of sucks because that's like the only girl in the whole group. I hope Moxie's not in this game. I really hope she's not, for her own sake. They're gonna
As you
uglify her
explore,
ass.
you'll meet a cast of incredible characters. Fan favorites return, like Zane
Oh well,
and Moxie.
there she is.
You'll also meet new friends like Rush.
All right, let's see who it was.
As you explore, you'll meet a cast of incredible characters.
That's
Fan favorites return,
Is that's not the siren from 3, is it? It might be, but I'm really not sure. It looks like her, but not as muscular.
Like Zane
I think he's from.
and Moxie.
Actually, I'm not sure where he's from, but she's from all of them.
You'll also meet new friends like Rush.
And as always, Claptrap is along for the ride.
Let me hear it. No. Let me hear it.
Trap is along for the ride.
Last but not least is Echo 4.
Not
This
too
helpful
bad.
drone follows you everywhere. Hacking order tech, scanning the environment, and helping guide you to objectives.
That's cool.
But enough of all that. Let's
I
get into
definitely
the
got
game.
lost in Borderlands 2. Say that much.
Thanks to our improved lobby system, it's easier than ever to join up with your friends on the fly. And with full crossplay at launch, you can play with your friends on any platform.
Hey, that's cool.
Today, we're venturing into Terminus Range, a frigid, mountainous region.
This is
Oh, this
just
could
one
be
of
a
the
group
4
game.
zones on Kairos that you can seamlessly explore.
Yeah, it could be.
There's next to no loading time, just endless looting and shooting mayhem.
Oh, I can't.
For our current mission,
Okay.
we need to break into a secret black site located deep in the mountains. One of the Timekeeper's generals, Vile Lichter, has been conducting grotesque experiments on locals. It's up to us to stop it.
All right, let's get moving. Here I'm using Glide, one of our new movement abilities. Along with dash, double jump, climbing, and point grapple, these make getting around more fun and add a ton of utility to combat.
I agree.
As you traverse, you'll uncover a vast and beautiful world. And to bring Kairos to life, we've introduced dynamic weather and events, so you constantly have new things to discover.
There's also plenty of local wildlife to contend with, like these Cratch, flying beasts who attack in flocks.
Here we've come across a silo, one of several new activities in Borderlands 4.
You'll naturally discover short gameplay experiences like this all across Kairos. There's no need to pick up a mission first. These are auto-granted and tracked on your HUD.
Silos house old, decommissioned order tech that you can hijack
Feels
with
like Halo
Crimson
2.
Resistance.
Or Halo 3.
With the help of Echo 4, we'll hack into their network and release the communications balloon. Now that we're in charge, we can fast travel to the silo. And as a bonus, it's revealed the approximate location of a vault key fragment. We can collect these fragments to unlock a hidden vault, a high-level dungeon with challenging combat and serious loot.
That's cool. There's more than one vault then. That's dope.
Let's get after it.
That also mean the vault, the way he kind of breezed over that makes me feel that the vaults aren't the primary objective of the whole game.
Another nice thing about silos is you can zip line
Which
up
I don't know
and
how to
take
feel
off.
about that. You know
And
what?
if that's not fast enough for you, you can always pull out your personal vehicle, the Digirunner. Just
I
hop
appreciate-
on, hit boost, and get rolling.
I
You can
appreciate
customize the body, paint job, and even how it handles.
all these traversal things that they're doing to make covering the longer distances less time consuming, obviously. But the thing is, you could also just make a smaller world, right? Pandora was like that because Pandora was mostly a fucking barren wasteland. That doesn't mean every planet has to be, right? Well, not barren wasteland. A good chunk of it was, but you know what I'm saying. We're kind of getting out of the era of like big open world games for the sake of having big open world games. You know, you can make the game going from point A to point B smaller, and people will be fine with that. I promise you.
And because this is Borderlands, you best believe it
It's like the
has guns.
Starfield thing I was talking about. Starfield was 250 planets instead of 1,000. it would have been way better.
As you traverse, you'll encounter a host of dynamic events. From order patrols to world bosses, there's always something to shoot and loot.
All right, we're coming up on an order outpost. Let's see the new movement abilities in action.
You know, it's definitely a me thing, but I would much rather turn off enemy health bars but keep the numbers.
Chaining our new traversal abilities together makes
The thing about me is I really like a clean HUD. Like the cleaner it can be, like the better. And I'll much rather take numbers than big ass health bars.
combat more dynamic than ever.
Rather than having health bars, why don't we have like enemy damages, like, you know, having chunks of armor fly off or someone's leg missing? Like I'm sure they have it, but like I just prefer that in general over health bars. Makes you pay
Dash
attention a
in and
little
out of
closer.
melee
You know?
attacks, dodge projectiles, or quickly reposition to gain an advantage.
Fucking melting them. It feels slow though. It feels slow to me. Maybe because I play Call of Duty all the damn time. That's probably why.
Now I know that there's a vault fragment around here somewhere, but we've got a mission to get back to. Let's pull out Echo 4 to show us where to go.
That felt very
Let's pull.
what the hell is it? Breakpoint?
Now I know that there's a vault fragment around here somewhere, but we've got a
Yeah, hover over the mission. Bang bam de Blasio. Yeah, this feels a lot like I don't know why I just got hard Breakpoint vibes.
mission to get back to. Let's pull out Echo 4 to show us where to go.
We're meeting up with none other than the Tigra Partali herself, Amara. She's a former vault hunter and exotic pet sitter from Borderlands.
Amara, that's her name.
She came to Kairos in search of Lilith and is now helping us take down the Timekeeper.
Well, I guess the old blood hunters are still involved in the games. I guess that wish went
Don't
away.
you whine at me, Hermes. We'll play in a moment, huh? Ugh, you agree to pet sit for a few weeks, and the next thing you know, you're having full conversations with animals.
See, shut up.
You don't use security like that unless you've got something to hide. This must be the path to the black side.
Agreed. But if Lilith is on the other side, I don't mind some property destruction.
Ooh, your specialty. Please, be my guest.
And that haircut too. Yeah, that's her.
Come.
That's why I
Let's
didn't
throw
recognize
some
her, because her
light
hair
on
is
this black
different.
side
And
of
she's
things.
also deflated. But no, she has dope siren powers for
This
sure.
place is crawling with creeps. Clear them out.
Co-op has always been at the heart of Borderlands, and we put a ton of work into making it better than ever. Our improved lobby was just the start. You can
Like,
also
what are you
set your
shooting at?
into making it better than ever. Our improved lobby was just the start. You can also
You
set
like
your own
4
campaign
extra
difficulty
shots.
independently of the rest of the party. This way, everyone can tune the experience to their liking.
And you don't have to worry about loot ninjas stealing your drops, as loot is always instanced for each player. Plus, if you ever get split up, you can easily fast travel to your friends.
And 2-player split screen returns so you can enjoy couch co-op. Regardless of how you play, we just want you to be able to hang with your buddies and have a great time.
What the hell is that?
Everyone else heard the talking creep, right?
Tim feels like the product of Lichter's twisted mind. Another of his
Can we like
experiments.
mute like dialogue? Can we just like
He's
rip the
doing
dialogue
this
out of
to
the whole game?
creeps. I shudder to think what he's doing to
Just
Lilith.
point me in a direction and I'll
We
shoot
need to
and
get
kill shit.
inside.
I don't want to hear you people talk.
That air vent. Let's check it out. Hermes is really creeped out in here. Not me, obviously. Hermes.
Now that we're in the black site, let's take a moment to talk about loot.
God.
In Borderlands 4, each piece of gear comes from one of 8 manufacturers with their own characteristics and trademarks. There's Jacobs, with crit-friendly black powder
I always do
weapons,
Jacobs.
the elemental expertise of Mal.
I mean, there's one time I might have a screenshot of it, but still, I had Jacobs everything: sniper, revolver, shotgun, and I think they have an assault rifle or like a kind of marksman rifle type thing. Dog, I was fucking Jacobs out, bro.
Vladoff, who solved lower accuracy with more bullets. The toss to reload Tedior, or Torg with explosions.
You always had to have a
We
Torg
also
on your
have
back,
3
bro.
new ones. The
Easy in
Order
the back
with
pocket.
powerful charge and release blast, fully auto rippers, and the reliable, easy-to-use Daedalus, which can use multiple ammo types.
It
But
looks
that's
so
just the start.
slow.
We've introduced an all-new
Stop
licensed part
it.
system. This allows for behaviors and abilities from multiple manufacturers to spawn in a single weapon. For instance, this flat-off assault rifle features a Torg mag, Hyperion shield, and a Molly 1 elemental switch, meaning it shoots fast and explodes things. The higher the rarity, the more parts that can randomly spawn, creating...
I don't think I like that. I don't like that because it kind of messes up the purity of those manufacturers. But I do see the appeal of having it. So let's have like a middle ground here, right? How about you keep the guns as their manufacturers, but you can modify those guns with other gun parts from other manufacturers. Like you do it yourself rather than have it be randomly generated. I think that's a better way to do that.
wilder and wilder loot.
And that's before even getting into alt-fire modes, underbarrels, and elemental damage.
The possibilities are truly endless.
To support playing with your favorite manufacturer, we've added enhancements. This new type of gear replaces artifacts and provides bonuses to specific manufacturers. Take my current enhancement. It adds a kill bonus to all guns with Daedalus parts, along with more reload speed and critical damage. This lets you min-max your build around your favorite manufacturer, immediately turning just okay guns into amazing weapons.
Finally, we've heard your feedback, and we've overhauled our drop rates and loot across the game. We've worked hard to make sure all our gear feels better than ever, while also making rarity matter again. This makes for our most satisfying loot chase ever. And at the top of everything are legendaries. These have always had unique effects that you won't find on any other piece of gear. But in Borderlands 3, they drop too often. This not only devalued legendaries, it made everything feel less
That's true.
valuable.
They
In
dropped
our
a
new system,
lot.
not only do all guns feel great, but now legendaries will truly be special events. We've added the magic back to our loot chase, and we know you'll love grinding all that great gear on Kairos.
But let's get back to combat so I can show you my favorite thing, Ordnance. This
Tyree! What's going on, bro? Oh my god, this Borderlands shit is really got me conflicted. I'm having existential crisis.
This is the new gear slot for grenades and heavy weapons like rocket launchers. Instead of taking up a gun slot now,
Good, I'm glad you're
Ordnance
chilling.
now has cooldown timers. No more saving the big guns for boss fights. Now you can blow stuff up as often as you want.
It's very see, that's why I'm conflicted. It looks great. The innovations done to the gameplay are great. They're trying a lot of new shit, which is cool, but it's like the story seems fine so far, but it's like the fucking dialogue, bro. I can't. It's really ripping me apart. Like I barely got through fucking Borderlands 3 with their fucking dialogue. Listen, man, I can't do a whole lot of these motherfuckers talking.
Before we go further, let's talk a little bit about action skills. Every Vault Hunter has a set of 3 unique action skills. These are class-defining abilities with devastating effects. Up until now, I'd been using Incarnate to deliver powerful phase blasts. But let's switch it up to Phase Familiar and pull out Trouble. As you can see, each action skill has its own branching skill tree, giving you more build freedom than ever
What the fuck is that
before.
outfit?
On top,
Why you got one short leg pant? What's wrong with you? You're horribly unbalanced, and I don't like you.
of passive skills, you can further customize action skills with augments and capstones. These are socketed enhancements that add new behaviors and functions to your action skill.
Different builds completely change how combat plays out, resulting in near endless freedom to experiment. You can swap unlocked augments or capstones on the fly, or completely respec your skill trees at hubs around Kairos.
This gives us a chance to talk about traits. Each Vault Hunter has a unique passive ability called a trait. For Vex, her action skills attune to the element of her equipped weapon. So by swapping guns, I can change Trouble's damage from kinetic to shock, fire,
That's
or
pretty
any
cool.
other elemental type.
And also, you can pet the cat.
Dead end.
Oh my god.
Or is it? Let's see where this vent takes us. God. Are those test tubes?
You know, guys, everyone, it's not really like a bad thing to be able to pet your pets in a game. But can we please stop like putting it out as if it's something to attract? And you can pet the cat. Shut the fuck. How about let people discover that? That's a lot more special than you fucking telling me that. Does the gameplay look slow to you, Ty? It feels slow to me, but maybe because I'm a Call of Duty guy. I don't know. It feels slow. A little bit, yeah. You know, when I see games like this, when I see games like this that have that kind of multi-enemy, quick kind of like arena kind of Doom-like gameplay, I always think of how fast Doom is. I see people play Doom at really quick speeds, right? Why can't we do that here? Right? It feels so slow for no reason. Wait, I see they were talking. I gotta open that back up. Boop.
Tube.
Ref kit. I'm down. But thankfully, our fight for your life mechanic makes a return. Of course, I could have avoided it in the first place if I had just used my ref kit. This new piece of gear provides health and other buffs, like temporarily boosting my elemental damage, rate of fire, or movement speed.
I'm almost afraid to ask what's in the tube.
Oh, look at these guys. Are those crystals growing out of them?
By the way, if you're looking to experience the story again or just grind for loot, we've added full mission and boss replay. That's right, no more save loading to run bosses.
I need a full mission and boss like dialogue mute. That would be a great feature to have.
Now you can return to the arena and use Moxie's big encore machine to spawn another run.
But we'll talk more about endgame later. For now, let's jump ahead and
I would
show you
even mention
something
that as an
truly
endgame
badass.
though. That's a spoiler.
In Borderlands 4, our bosses are bigger and better than ever, putting all
Really?
new skills, gear, and
That looks
abilities to
smaller
the
than a
ultimate
lot of
test.
other fucking bosses I've seen. Bigger and better? No, that's like a baby-sized version of the fucking Traveler. That's a baby-sized version of the Destroyer. Yeah, no, just a baby-sized shit.
In Borderlands 4, our bosses are bigger and better than ever, putting all your new skills, gear, and abilities to the ultimate test.
You can't just lie to me like that. I remember shit.
Whoa, whoa, Whoa. Spoilers. That's enough of that for now. But
mean, that
we look
counts as
forward to
bigger.
showing you much more this June at our first hands-on.
I don't know if doing a Hana fruit it would be considered doing like a big boss. Hold on.
Whoa.
Because when you say big boss, it'd be big all the time, right? This is a relative to you, it's a big boss, but relative to other bosses, it's not that big, right?
Whoa.
And then when you do shit like this, the Hana fruit, is that just the size of the boss now? Even then, that's not bigger than the fucking Traveler or the fucking Destroyer. That's crazy.
That's enough of that for now. But we look forward to showing you much more this June at our first hands-on gameplay event.
June.
And from everyone at Gearbox, thank you for joining us.
That was it? I was expecting more than that. At least people talking about it. Okay, we can listen to them talk about it. But oh no. This is actually kind of like, you know what? Not even that it's like not a good Borderlands case. It's not a good art in general. I don't really like the whole the thing here. But you know, the finger guns are supposed to be pointed at the head of the psycho, right? Because they're psychos, right? Why are you pointing at me now? And that's not no. See, you fuck up the vibe already.
PlayStation.
Beyond and hello and welcome to a very special episode of IGN's weekly PlayStation show. I'm your host, Max Scoville, and if you're just joining us live, you caught Sony's State of Play all about Borderlands 4, and if you're watching or listening to this after the fact, well, we just watched the Borderlands 4 State of Play, and we're going to talk about it now, plus a bunch of other news about Ghost of Yote and the Until Dawn movie. But here to join me
not
to
here
talk
for the
about
whole
it,
thing.
Nick
Which one?
Maillet
Which
and
one? The
Jada
first
Griffin.
part.
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
Hey, don't forget
Hi.
my kid's here. He's here. He's watching. He's waiting.
Who is
waiting.
that? You've got your vault, your Borderlands mask standing by for any people. We always get
that is my child.
Your
that
child?
is my child, Max.
Okay,
Show
so
him the modicum of respect he deserves.
Clearly, you have some expectations for Borderlands. You two are both seasoned Vault Hunters. I'm curious what you made of this. What's your read on Borderlands 4? Are you excited? Are you surprised? Are you let down?
That dude in the middle looks like he hasn't
Nick, let me hear what you
slept.
think.
Yeah, I
In
am
ever.
excited for sure. We were saying this when we were watching it. It feels like they took some of the best parts of Destiny and added it to Borderlands, and it just
I can see that.
it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm glad that local co-op is back because that's something that I definitely want to try out with the next one. But yeah, I'm sold. Simple as that.
Yeah, that wasn't a whole lot to
Jada,
go
what
off
about
of,
you?
my guy.
I've been keeping my eye on this one. This has definitely been on my radar since it was announced, and I really like the new mobility tools that they've given us in this one. Although I do feel like the sliding mechanic feels a little slow compared to some other games.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I played
The whole
this is,
everything
you know,
feels slow.
super old, but playing Vanquish when you could like slide across the ground with like jets and stuff attached to your legs, like felt so quick. And there's so many other games that have faster, what looks to be faster mobility than this. Like maybe the footage wasn't showing it at its full speed. I don't know yet, but I really like the aspect that
No,
they're
that was full
adding
speed.
more mobility options to kind of
It
help
was slow
make
as
the game
fuck.
feel a little bit
For sure.
faster paced.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with demos like this is they are carefully rehearsed and very much planned ahead. And so it wouldn't surprise me one bit if they were just slowing things down a bit so people could take in the action and it's not just this kind of frantic mosh pit of stuff happening. But I do see your point there. They've definitely...
That's
it
a
seems
skill
like they've
issue
done a
if you
lot with
can't keep
traversal.
up.
I guess I'm curious, sort of compared to how Borderlands 3 was received, this very much seems like they are kind of listening to feedback on previous games and kind of trying to course correct and make good. What jumped out at you as like the biggest change here?
I think Go ahead, Nick. Yeah, please.
I was going to say the humor. My problem with 3, especially, is that it was so in your face, like very like just way too many jokes, way too much. Everything had to be funny and goofy. And I just noticed with this, it was definitely toned down, and that is something they said in the beginning. So I'm looking forward to that because that's one part of the game that I just could not get into, especially with Borderlands 3, is that it was just a little bit too much as far as like the goofy and the silliness goes.
Thank you.
I think the goofiness and silliness is fine because that's very on brand for Borderlands, and that's kind of what the fans kind of come to expect.
I see. I said both of these things. I mentioned both of these perspectives. But the thing is, what the fans expect, or what the fans want, is the old stuff. Those writers aren't writing this shit. That's why Borderlands 3 was such a slog to get through. That's why Tales from the Borderlands 2 was a piece of shit, because it's not the same writers. You can't mimic that kind of comedy and that kind of vibe throughout the decades without the same people there. You're just not gonna do it. That's why modern humor doesn't work with this style of game, because it's fucking cringy.
I think they just missed the mark when it came to the writing and the timing for the goofiness and silliness in Borderlands 3. I think that was the biggest thing because, you go back to something like Borderlands 2, which is lauded as the best story for the Borderlands series, in my opinion,
Absolutely.
and many others. But
well, that's tough because Tales from the Borderlands is a very good story. You know what? I gotta do. Fuck. I gotta do the fucking Telltale series. I gotta do The Wolf Among Us, and then I gotta do fucking Tales from the Borderlands. Because that's worth it. Tales from the Borderlands is a good one. I might do that in between because that one actually is a singular season. But that's a great game.
It had tons of humor and tons of jokes constantly. And I don't think it was the issue of how much was in 3. I don't think it was as high a quality level. And I think that's what turned a lot of people off from that. But the gameplay stuff that they added in 3 definitely helped make it a little bit better.
It did.
As for me, I think the thing that kind of stood out...
I think that's exactly how I felt. Like, I played the shit out of it because I love the gameplay. But the dialogue, I really had to turn my brain off. Like, the subsequent playthroughs, like the New Game Pluses over and over, I wouldn't even listen to it. I would just put some music on and just play the fucking game because I know it, like, back and forth at this point. But still, that dialogue is terrible. And the fucking story choices, oh my, don't even get me started.
It's a toss-up between how much of this game looks like it has borrowed elements from other things. Like, we saw your personal vehicle, which is like your Sparrow in Destiny.
Yeah.
They saw you kind of grappling and like ziplining up, which was kind of screaming Apex Legends for me, as well as
Halo,
then flying down to your next destination. There's that is kind of weighing on me, and then also the change.
Why is that weighing on you? It's never a bad thing to take bits and pieces of other games into your own game. That's how you get some of the best games. That's how we get fucking E33. E33 is a mashup of a lot of games. When I was watching the trailer, I was thinking Octopath Traveler 2. I was thinking Persona 5. I was thinking this, that, and the third. Like, it's totally fine to draw inspiration or take mechanics and innovate them into your own project. That's what innovation is. That's how you grow.
I don't know
That's how
how
industry
I feel
develops
about
and
it
hobby
yet because
feels
they said
fresh.
that people were complaining about too many legendary drops in 3 and that it kind of affected the it made it not feel as special, which I can understand that point.
Absolutely.
But I just hope we're not going back to the days of fighting like hundreds and hundreds of things for one legendary weapon, hoping that we get that one god roll that we're looking for in a weapon. And with all the new weapon stuff, like I would honestly like more legendary drops this time around. Like, not more than 3, but like the same amount, if not maybe tuned down a little bit. So I think it's all going to matter with how that's been tuned.
Yeah, I agree with that. As long as you don't have to as long as you don't have to just like grind to get good guns, then that's fine. I hope they found like a good balance between the two.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be more like instead of them be actually random drops, they'll be tied to only drop from certain level bosses, right? Like the end of certain dungeons, or like say you provoke a Goliath enough to be a super ultra mega badass Goliath. That one will always drop a legendary, right? Because it's super ultra mega badass, right? It's fair.
because I don't want to spend, 6 hours trying to get one thing and then find out, I don't really like it that much.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's funny you make the Destiny comparison because this just recently had its release date moved up from September 23rd up to September 12th, which it awkwardly was kind of on the same release date as Paragon, and it's sort of funny to see. Bungie is shifting gears into a totally different kind of game. They're doing an extraction shooter. Meanwhile, Gearbox has always done a looter shooter. There's similar DNA there, but I feel like as in its winter years, Destiny was definitely getting a little goofier, a little bit more over the top and colorful. Meanwhile, here's Borderlands kind of scaled back a little bit. So I could very easily see, maybe some disenfranchised, Bungie fans who bounce off of Paragon, maybe latching onto this instead. I feel like just in terms of the movement and the space, it has a kind of a similar vibe. And again, I'm not particularly partial to Destiny or Borderlands, but it kind of immediately jumped out at me how much it kind of looks like that in action. As for the comedy side of things, I think it's interesting to see Gearbox responding to that sentiment that the game's got too goofy, because I think there's always been comedy in these games. I always remember hearing like they're surprisingly funny, because like you sign up for a shooter and then you're like, oh god, the robot's really funny. He's got some good chops there. And then it kind of got more and more self-aware. Like it got kind of, you get like Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Like it gets this more and more kind of overt and on the nose and kind of in on the joke. And it feels almost like parallel to what happened with Saints Row, where like originally it was like semi-grounded, but you were surprised at how funny it was, and then it was like, oh, I'm funny, and it just kind of kept getting more and more leading into comedy, which comedy's hard. It's not always for everybody, and for people who kind of signed up for one thing and got increasingly more of another thing, I could see how they might that they might resent that. But
comedy's not for everybody, and comedy is also very subjective. What you writers find funny, I clearly don't.
Even looking at this game in action, there's still like Claptrap's still there. There's like a store called Thirst Scrap. There's like a enemy just named Tim who comes out. Like there's still humor in there, but it feels,
I remember Tim.
Noticeably restrained compared to some of the other stuff we've seen in recent years.
I think another thing we've got to talk about is the UI. The UI, I'm hoping it's not a final draft of the UI that we've still got.
I really hadn't noticed it.
4 or 5 months till this releases. I'm hoping there is going to be.
As I said before, I like having a clean as possible. But if I can't turn something off, I will horse blinder myself and won't even pay attention to it.
Some adjustments to it because it doesn't scream Borderlands to me.
It doesn't.
It's very un-Borderlands for the UI, and I don't think it
feels more like
a terrible like trash UI, but I think that it needs some of that Borderlands flair that we've gotten in the past, and I think that's what it's missing. I do like the menu.
Feels like a SOCOM.
When they went into the menus and messing with the skills, I think that UI was fine, but like the HUD
something like that
UI kind of was throwing
me
off
Advanced
a little bit. It was
Warfighter,
like pulling my eye to it instead of the gameplay, which is
something like that.
Your HUD shouldn't be distracting you from what's going on screen. How about you guys? You guys feeling that one? Like,
it just feels like when they first showed it, I was just like, where have I seen this before? And then it's just
I couldn't place it either.
It's not that exciting.
Yeah, it's just kind of it feels. What's the word for it? It feels too tame. It feels like it's just been it feels bland, I guess. So it's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
So,
well, I guess that's just sort of the
worry
here is that what happens if Borderlands overcorrects and becomes too serious? Like I remember kind of hearing that the original plan for these games was to make this kind of quasi post-apocalyptic space shooter thing that's grimy and gritty and has all this wasteland action, and it was going to look realistic. And then Fallout 3 came along. I don't know how accurate this is. But then they were like, what do we do? And they were like, let's make it cell shaded, and that became its sort of defining characteristic. And even just looking at this in action, like it's still cell shaded, but if you take a step back, it's less apparent. Like it's got a lot more detail.
What if Borderlands became too serious? Borderlands is not light-hearted game. Borderlands is a very dark game, and it can have very tragic things going on in that game. It's very serious at times. The game's not all jokes and bullshit. That's why we have what we have now. Because you maybe because all you saw was the jokes and bullshit from 3, and thought that that's people care about jokes and bullshit. No, that's not all that Borderlands is. And clearly, it's not these guys, but the writers don't know that.
It feels a lot less, it's still colorful, but just in I guess different measures, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
It's definitely tamed down a little bit. Just
Yeah,
feels like
and
overall.
and like keep in mind this is still just a very like small peek at what they have coming for us. I'm sure once they said they have a summer kind of play session that's coming up, and I imagine it's probably gonna be like Summer of Games or something like that. I'm very, very interested to get my hands on this and play more of this, because I've put countless hours into 1, 2, 3 and pre-sequel, and I love the chase for loot. I love grinding for those weapons and killing bosses over and over again. So I'm glad they're making that also a little bit easier for people like me who like to know life in the game, trying to get that god roll. There's a lot of really cool stuff in this. I'm happy Amara's coming back. She was my siren in 3 that I played, and we got a new goth mommy siren. I forget what was her name. Vax, I think they said was her name. I missed her name.
With the bat wings?
Yeah, it's Vax.
Vax. So like, yeah, she looks awesome, and I mean, look,
No, she
you get to
doesn't.
pet her little familiar. You got her little kitty cat that you can get sick on people to just rip them to shreds. It's great.
She looks
Like,
absolutely
I'm very much looking
ununique.
forward to this. I want to see more, and
Just as you
and
said,
see what
another
they're
goth
actually
mommy.
talking about.
That's
that
another
they're
one. That's not
showcasing
unique.
in this little trailer, because I think they
The fuck?
did a very top of the line kind of like, here's all the things that are coming in Borderlands, but didn't really dive deep enough into anything to give the community and their fan base the answers that they're really looking for in these things. Like, they explained like all of the weapons manufacturers, which great for people who may be playing their first Borderlands games. Anybody who's been playing for a while knows what these ones are. I would have loved to like known what's new in these weapon manufacturers. What new things are those manufacturers bringing to the table this time around?
See, that's kind of what I was saying before.
Yeah,
About having the manufacturers be themselves, and you mix and match the guns yourself. That's how you make those guns different. That would be such a different kind of thing that might get me interested in actually playing the game.
That's the challenge with a presentation
To make
like this
your
about a game
perfect
like
gun
this, is that you're
among these
trying to
billions
make-
of guns.
you're trying to get the attention
Hell yeah.
of new players and sort of former players who've drifted away, and also the hardcore fan base, and you're trying to kind of talk to everybody at once. And obviously this is Gearbox filtered through PlayStation proper, which always kind of changes the tone a little bit. Like, I feel like that is that looked like Randy Pitchford at a job interview. Like, that was definitely the most kind of reined in I've seen him in a cool minute. So like, all of that felt very.
That shirt was not helping.
I don't know what was going on there. I mean, he's always got some interesting.
No, he
shirts,
was
but that
off his fucking
it's,
rocker.
Clearly, these things are all very manicured and rehearsed.
Dude was
and,
stoned.
you get a good sense of what the game is, but it's very kind of clinical. It's like, this is the nutrition facts almost, and presumably later on we're gonna get a better sense of this. I'm sure they'll probably do like a. Maybe they'll do a beta or something like that. Let people get their hands on it.
They should
But,
do what Data Worlds
yeah,
2
I
is
mean,
doing.
it's-
Just do like
again,
little
these games
things
have
every week or so.
pretty deep systems in them. I mean, maybe not deepest in terms of what they are. It's you're shooting stuff and finding stuff. But like, people are going to pick it apart and find the things that work and don't work. But it's yeah, because of that, there's obviously a lot of stuff to fine tune. And the loot thing is
That was good.
Yeah, because of that, there's obviously a lot of stuff to fine
That dismemberment is beautiful.
tune. And the loot thing is fascinating to me, because like, they're like, we heard you complained that there were too many treats in Borderlands 3, and because there were too many treats, they stopped being treats, and now we're making them treats again by having less of them, which is like, I understand it, I get it. You want it more of a challenge to get like legendary stuff, but it's it's an odd thing to put front and center for anybody who's like, if you're trying to attract someone new, it's like you got to work.
No, it's not so much trying to attract someone new with like what sounds good. We're giving you the truth. This is being transparent. This is what you're. This is just like what Starfield did. We're telling you exactly what you're gonna get, and you're still gonna be pissed off about it. not you, but people in general would still be pissed off about it. He told you it'd be 1,000 planets. A lot of them be barren because this is what the game is. People are like, there's nothing to do on these planets. Fucking, I told you there'd be little to no fucking legendaries so they could feel special. Stop bitching. It's there. It's not gonna change. Take it or not.
Your ass off to get a cool gun. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it was a little weird to follow that point up with like, anyway, so here's how you can make all your other guns really good and amazing.
Yeah.
So, not really sure. I get that like legendary guns are going to be harder to get now, but I kind of got the vibe that they're sort of saying any gun you have, you can turn it into the gun you're going to play the entire game with.
You could. Theoretically.
They could have done a better job at explaining all of that.
I do really like the change to ordnance, though. I think that's a really exciting thing for Borderlands. I really like this new aspect of changing how that kind of plays. Because there was a lot of times I know in previous games where my grenade, whatever I had in my grenade mod, I'd run out of grenades and I'd be like, okay, well, I've got that's my heal. I have like my heal leech off of my grenades. So, but I'm out of those, about to run into a boss. Guess I'll go. I mean, most of the time they had vending machines, so you could restock them before bosses. So it wasn't too
like
big of a deal.
everyone. Yeah.
But sometimes, you're running long stretches and you just would be out of them, especially
Like
if you didn't have
99% of them had
Didn't
vending
you
machine
change
cards
the
before.
series? It's on a cooldown.
It's on a cooldown now, I think they're expanding it beyond. They're expanding it beyond grenades. Like we saw Vax with the look like a dual rifle cannon type of thing. I remember what they called it, but that looked really cool. So I'm really excited to see what those ordinances look like, because I think that's the one thing that Borderlands does best, and the developers do best, is the creativity when it comes to their weapons. Whether it's we saw the gun with legs walking around, the TDR throwing your weapons to reload where they explode. There's a lot. They're really good about that, and that's like my favorite. I think that's my favorite element of the Borderlands games, just how crazy and creative they get with their weapons.
Yeah, it's always kind of been the jam. The cooldown thing feels especially tailored to people playing casually in co-op. I'm always kind of less inclined to be interested in cooldown stuff, because I especially with like a gun, because you're like, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have rechargeable ammo. But again, this is not a game about realism, so what am I talking about? But they mention repeatedly, like, they want this to be a game where people can hang out and have a good time, and it seems like there's been, like, it's got crossplay from day one.
They mute the dialogue.
Couch co-op. It sounds like they've tried to really streamline drop in, drop out, which is great, because I know that the big appeal of a lot of Borderlands is just the casual or the social aspect of it, and just playing with other people. And they repeatedly were like, we want to make it easy for you to blow up shit with your friends. So, good on them for that. I think that's endearing.
Yep, and they said crossplay coming at launch, which is good. So you can play with your friends regardless of console, which is great. As those lines continue to blur, I think it's all the better for those games to lean into that. And I'm looking at chat now. It looks like her name might have been Vex, not Vax. Sorry,
I don't care.
Good. There's
Vex,
a lot of anti-vaxxers out there, so Vex is probably better choice these days.
Probably.
Put it wrong in my notes.
It's all good. I mean, hey, we're going live off the cuff, so there you
Anyway.
go, chat. You're heard.
One thing I want to touch on, though, did you guys have anything else you wanted to mention about the state of play?
I think they did a good job.
Yeah. I thought it was.
I think it did a good job.
Showing. Like I said, I just want to know more of that. Like
it was a fine job.
See more of the second character that they showed off, that they announced. That would have been really cool. But hey, there's plenty of time till September, so more time.
They had more examples of dialogue that'd be pretty cool.
One-off live streams, trailer drops of character-specific abilities and stuff like that. So.
But you're feeling cautiously optimistic? You think you're ready for another Borderlands?
I don't think there's any cautiousness about it. I think I'm optimistic about it. I think it's going to be good. I think it's gonna hit the mark for what we are hoping out of a Borderlands game. It's just a matter of the unknown quantities that we still don't know about it yet. That's really only
everyone know what this Wii shit
that
is.
could make or break it in the long run.
Sure. Nick, what about you?
Yeah, when it was first announced, was that at Gamescom? I think I was just kind of like, okay, Borderlands, I'm sure I'll play it within a year of it releasing. And the more we've seen, and especially after today, I'm definitely going to check it out right when it comes out, just because it looks like they have corrected a few of the things I didn't like with 3, and they are making the game more
not the
accessible
dialogue
and easy. easy is not the right word, but like if I want to play co-op with someone who's
More
not
approachable.
great at shooters, that's a better way.
Mm-hmm.
I like that each individual player can change their difficulty level, and it doesn't make it to where I'm just carrying someone that's not very good at shooters, or vice versa. If I'm playing with someone who's way better than me at Borderlands, they're not.
I don't know how to feel about that. Like, I get it, but like, oh no. I guess you're playing with like your child or something, but like, I mean, I guess there's like spouses and shit don't play games and shit too, but like at the same time, it's like I can carry you. I guess it's just a you thing. I don't mind carrying my girl. If I'm playing with my girl, I don't mind carrying her, right? And then at the same time, if she likes the game enough, she'll become a better gamer that way. Like, what are we talking about?
Not just calling back and carrying me along. So it just seems like it's gonna be fun.
Sounds like a skill issue.
And instance loot is great. That means no more fighting over weapon drops with your friends. Everybody gets your own luck is determined.
There's also trading. Hello, it's not always fighting. You know how many times I was like, babe, I'll give you the sniper if you give me that shotgun. She's like, no, like please, like no. Like, well, it's fun. You may have fun with it. They're gonna be stealing and shit. Come on
what
now.
loot you get. So I know I'll be bathing in gold legendary weapons.
The sort of individualized difficulty, like each player playing co-op can tailor the difficulty to their own standards, and I'm like curious how that works exactly in practice. But it's a nice
I was thinking that too.
Loot makes it so that everyone.
I wasn't sure how to
like
articulate it,
gets
but
a gun.
yeah,
I guess that's not what she does in Oprah. But
you're mulling that around.
I don't think Oprah ever gave those away, Max.
Give it a couple.
I could be wrong, but I don't think those were ever under chairs.
Now, this thing I do want to touch on, this is the date change is very amusing to me because again, moving a game's release date forward a couple weeks is pretty common. Moving it up a few weeks is sort of unusual. And they announced that it's getting bumped from the 12th of September to the 23rd or 23rd to the 12th, which not a huge jump, but still kind of like, okay, if it's not a huge jump, then why bother? Randy Pitchford went on Twitter and said, Borderlands 4 shipping early is 100% the result of confidence in the game and development trajectory backed by actual tasks and bug find/fix rates. Our decision is literally 0% about any other product's actual or theoretical launch date, which I'm skeptical. I feel like 0% is generous there. Like that's...
Yeah, not even that though, but like, my God, you're talking a lot of shit. You're talking a whole lot of shit. And in this day and age, if you can't back that type shit up, you're going to bury Gearbox. Okay? If this game does not fucking smack in like all cylinders, then listen, bro. You talking, I'll bring this clip right back the fuck up. I swear to God I will.
Seems just kind of a... I mean, the two big things there is, one, it is the same release date as Marathon, which is a similar game. It is a co-op focused, brightly colored.
I'm sorry, say it again.
As Marathon, which is
the same date. Oh, Borderlands 4 versus Marathon on the same day. Borderlands might take that with the numbers. I'm not gonna hold you. Because I see less confidence for Marathon than I do for Borderlands. But I don't hear good things about either one of them. But I hear better things about Borderlands than Marathon. That's kind of crazy to think about.
Is a similar game. It is a co-op focused, brightly colored shooter. There's definitely a sort of oval Venn diagram of people who'd be interested in both those things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having to share that is probably tricky. It's also funny that Borderlands 4 has clearly aligned itself with PlayStation. We just saw a state of play about this, and they're also publishing Marathon. So, like, I wonder what that dynamic is. The other thing is that Borderlands is published by 2K, which is owned by Take-Two, which is the company that makes GTA. And the big question on everyone's mind this year is, when is GTA 6 coming out? So a lot of people are like, that means it's coming out around then. And they want to just steer clear of it. And
that's a very fair point to draw. Because if they know when GTA 6 is going to drop, and they're like, hey, let's skip a little bit closer away from earlier in the year, maybe we can avoid whatever splash that may make it out early October, perhaps. Maybe first 2 weeks of October.
I don't know. What do you think about this? I mean, this is tinfoil hat territory. But Nick, do you think this is a marathon move or a GTA move or neither of the above?
I think it's a GTA move. If it's the same publisher, they don't want to cannibalize Borderlands, because it definitely will be with GTA. I've said this around the office a few times. I still think GTA is going to come out on Halloween because it's a Friday.
That's genius. Dropping GTA on Halloween.
I respect it, though. I respect it. I don't know. I think
that's great. Great idea.
Is it plausible that they've moved it forward because GTA is
assuming mid-October,
and say October, and so they want to get.
All right, so mid-October. All right, so if it drops in the first 2 weeks of October, then I'll give you like $5. But like if it drops in a you give me $5. If it drops in the latter half of October, I'll give you $5. $5. Bet,
get out of the
shake
way
on it.
of that.
Got you.
I'm sure there are more, trade secrets that are shared internally between their company heads than they're gonna ever.
Listen. If I'm gonna grow real fast, I gotta make big claims and be right about them. Okay, and I gotta make sure I got the clips of me being right.
Release worldwide, but I think it's just a product. I think they've just been working on this one longer than we probably expected, and they've probably been having some good results when it comes to internal play tests, builds and such like that, and just testing and adding new features. I feel like they're
true, but the thing is, it's you're like Nostradamus adjacent. Because it's not necessarily that you call things, even though you do call things, but things that we talk about. Like I could bring something up, and if you engage with it, it'll happen. One way or another, it'll happen. So you're like Nostradamus adjacent.
Probably in the polished state at this point for the most part, so they can reliably say that, hey, we're good to move up the release date a couple weeks because we can get it out sooner. I also
but then
don't
again,
know
if you're
what
talking
the
so much shit,
look like, so
gotta
maybe
deliver
they're
that
trying
shit,
to
bro.
reach for that, because we all know that companies answer to shareholders and such, and getting moving a game up shows confidence to their shareholders so that they can make more money and be happy about that. Not that stuff should matter when it comes to grading how good a game is going to be, but we all know, we live in this world, we know that's a factor when it comes to game development nowadays, unfortunately.
It's funny because, like, in addition to GTA, which is all anyone's talking about, Take-Two has a pretty big year or whatever they lineup in the works. Like they've got Borderlands 4, which is a known quantity. There's also Mafia: The Old Country, and there's also Judas, and those are both
Mafia's
supposedly
gonna
coming
be
out this
good.
year. I think Mafia was supposedly slated for summer. That is in about 20 minutes. I don't know. Like Judas was, I think at one point they were saying that it was going to come out in March 2025, which was last month, and it didn't come out. So, like, again, these things could all be getting shuffled around behind the scenes. It's weird to juggle that stuff, and it's big ships are hard to steer. But like, there was we had a write up about the release date change for Borderlands on IGN, and we had some industry expert being like, you don't announce a release date and then move it up 2 weeks unless you don't have to do that. Like if you got marketing materials out there and everyone has it in their calendars,
you don't have to.
It's kind of a pain in the ass for everyone involved to do that. Like if you need to push it 2 weeks because you need to change things, that's understandable. But to be like, everything's going great, we're gonna move it up. It's like just sit on it for 2 weeks, Unless there's something massive coming out around then anyway, and you need to give it some wiggle room. So we'll have to wait and see. Now let's move on to some other stuff before we get into that.
That's the last thing I want to hear from Yoga. I'm so sorry about that face. Yeah, man, it's tough. I can't. I cannot do that dialogue, and I feel like they didn't show enough on purpose. Enough of them talking, like not even spoilers. You could do like the first like opening cutscene of them talking. That's not gonna spoil shit. I need to see how right I am about that dialogue being trash. Y'all greedy as hell. How many ads are gonna be fitting in my video? I don't have ads. I highly appreciate how y'all keep the split screen. Thank you. I appreciate that too. Cause I would have tapped out like a half an hour ago if that gameplay wasn't there. Dog, I was losing it. Not exaggeration. I had 5 ads in 10 minutes. I didn't get premium, my guy. It's become increasing shame to see many people disparage what could be a fantastic addition to the Borderlands franchise. It kind of is becoming increasing shame to see how many people did the franchise, but it's not without good reason. We have examples like Borderlands 3 and Tales from the Borderlands Season 2 as to why. Because because it doesn't fit their personality and very narrow view of what makes Borderlands a game. There's no narrow view of what makes a Borderlands game. You know what makes a Borderlands game. It doesn't make it narrow. That makes it accurate. The fuck you talking about? It looks really good. It does look good. Doesn't sound good, but it looks good. I'm addicted. I'm excited to play it. Great for you. It will continue the story. More than excited to see what they want. Okay. Look, anyone could have guessed that one, but sure. How we expect it to be. It's a wonderful thing how creative freedom can change. Freedom and change. It brings good and bad, which we get to decide for ourselves and once experience that in full. But not before, nor making half-cooked assumptions before the time. Listen, you're not going to tell me how to fucking think, first of all. Secondly, I might have to read that again. There's a lot. About creative freedom and change. In isolation, sure. But if you change too much of what the thing originally was, it's going to feel like shit. That's what I'm saying. These writers aren't the same. These people aren't the same. And you can't expect it to be trash if it's not made by the same people. Look what happened to Halo when 343 took over. What the fuck you talking about? The only people who say shit like this are afraid of it to fail. You're too emotionally invested in this game already, and you haven't played it either. Okay? Let people have their fucking reactions and see how it goes. Don't try to dictate how people can consume what they're seeing. Not everyone is fucking stupid. A lot of people are stupid. Not everyone. Real question, how do they even play this way? It felt very slow and very robotic. That's like, what's the other game that did that? Marathon had the same problem in their trailer, but I saw someone play their test shit, and it looked completely fine. So it very well may have been the people running the demo that may look super fucking slow. But at the same time, the enemies move slow too, and some guns shoot slow as well. So it can't all just be the movement, right? It just like speed it up like 0.25%, it'd be fine. But we have something else to get to today that I wanted to get to. Apparently, the DI stuff is not really hanging around in the background of video game development anymore. Like in the AAA development anymore. Ever since Sweet Baby started, or Kim Belair's fucking dumbass started saying shit, and getting her hands in these AAA projects like Suicide Squad and Conquered and shit like that. We all know the list of games. I'm not gonna go through the whole list of games. They're all fucking failures, right? And a lot of the failures are due to the consultancy of Sweet Baby Inc. There's so much to go over. But apparently we have this conference with the session. So I can't read it because it's white. It's gray. It's gray on white. Why the fuck would you... Who designed this fucking website? Why is it gray on white? Why is it not black? Anyway, let's see what the fuck these people talk about. The GDC vote. So I can not look at this stupid ugly ass background. It's Kim Belair, by the way. Oh. Wow, holy shit. Whew. No more DI. Oh no, how am I going to exactly? Am I going to get body type 1 and 2, and then want you to suffer? The thing is, body type 1 and 2 has always been around. It's been around since fucking like Dark Souls 3 at least. Like it's been around all like it's not a big deal. It's the same thing with people who were freaking about Starfield when they had their pronouns thing. Like you can just pick one and move on or not. Like it doesn't take long to have it leave your memory unless you're trying to hang on to it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the anti-wokers cause their own problems. They really do. And anti-wokers are also going downhill really fast. It's kind of